Hey, welcome back, my amazing student. So, since our application is actually getting bigger and bigger, it's only a matter of time before things start to get a little bit complicated with the security. Before we get there, we need to secure our application a little bit better. So this lecture here, we're gonna be adding an extra feature of security called the CSRF, all right? The cross-site request forgery token. Now, this feature works like this. We import some type of module that inserts a token and a big string of characters into the forms, the most important forms, the post request, the put request, the lead request, and all that stuff. It inserts that token in the front end, and then that token gets validated with what we got here, the secret, right? Remember that we have the secret key here. So it works with the secret key to get validated. So it says, hey, listen, if the token in the form, in the front end, matches the user session, right? Matches that user, then we can allow the post request to go through, right? And if it doesn't match, it doesn't go through. What is this avoiding? This is avoiding people from outside making requests into our application. And you might think that the login require, the Flask login module is stopping people from actually making requests, right? It's stopping unauthorized people to access that page. It doesn't stop unauthorized application from making post requests, okay? Especially with our forms. So let's go ahead and see how this actually works. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna start by first making sure that a certain module actually exists. All right, so let's go here real quick, and I'm gonna do pip list. This is going to give me all the packages that I have installed in this project. And I'm looking for this guy here, Flask-WTF. This is going to allow us to secure our application a little bit better. I'm going to explain exactly how this works once we implement it, all right? I already gave you the general idea, now we implement it. So let's go into what we need here is go to extensions, and I'm gonna import it from right here. So I'm gonna say from Flask _WTF, all right? We're gonna import the CSRF and then protect with an uppercase, okay? Protect, just like that. All right, CSRF protect, okay. So now, this is a middleware, right? A middleware is just a program that works in the middle, like a middleman, right? It says, hey, hold on, let me check that request, and if that request is good, then I would allow it, or I would execute some type of code before it gets to its destination. The middleware gets in between that request. So is CSRF, and then we'll do it like this here. Let me see, hold on. This here is from, sorry. I gotta change the table position here, my chair. Anyway, so let's go into and save this. Let's go back into the init right here. And we're gonna also import this here. So what I'm gonna do, let me go into extensions. All right. Let me just take this config out of there. Let me take routes out of there. And extensions, we don't need that anymore. As a matter of fact, we do need extensions. Let's go back here, and I'm gonna import. So I'm gonna say from Flask WTF .csrf. Then we're gonna import this generate _CSRF. All right. This function is gonna produce a really long string like this of characters that's gonna be in the form, and I'll show you in a minute. From extension, I also want to extract the CSRF, right, that we are exporting out, which is the middleware. And I'm gonna register that middleware before using this guy. I'm gonna register that middleware with my application. So I need to go into where I'm actually initializing the DB. And this CSRF also has this init that we can access, right? So let's go here. And we're gonna pass in the app, right? Boom, so we're initializing that with our app. That's perfect, our app is aware of it. Now I'm gonna do something else here. I'm gonna access the Jinja this Jinja feature where we can add data to all the templates in our application with this functionality here. So watch, this is going to be globals, just like that, and it's going to be a dictionary. And basically now we're saying, hey, listen, this CSRF token is going to be available through our whole templating of our application. So let's use what we got on top there to generate that token that I told you about and then put it in here. So this here, we can access this very easily by going into any form in the templates. So I'm gonna go and use, let's go to templates and let's go into this new .html file, right? Where we create a new contact. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna create an input with a type hidden. I'm gonna give it a value of CSRF underscore token. I mean the name attribute, and then the value, I'm also going to give it that name, but I'm going to use that parenthesis right here. All right, that makes it a function. Now, make sure you save your document, right? Let's go into the application and let's go ahead and turn that on. So Flask run. Now let's go ahead and look at the application. Let's go into the new contact here and let's go ahead and right click and inspect this form here. And you can see now in that input, in that hidden input, you can see the value is huge. This value here will be compared, all right, validated in the back end with our secret key that we have in configurations right here. It will look at this key and analyze it behind the scenes and say, okay, so the user that submitted this post request is the right user. Is the user for this application, is the logged in user, the authenticated user. You're good, go through, right? That's what it says, hey, go through. You can go through and complete that request. That request gets to where it needs to go. Now, if we didn't have that, if I go back into this form and I submit this, let's go ahead and do it with it first and see. So I'm gonna say example here, and example Gmail, and let's just put a random number here. And create. You can see that we were able to create this, right? Let's go ahead and take this off right now. Take it off completely, save your file, refresh your application, go into the new form here, and let's create another one real quick here. Let's create example 2. And let's put another number, right? We create, and it says, hey, the CSRF token is actually missing. All right, you can see that it says bat request. All right, so this is it. So now every time you want to protect one of these post requests, go ahead and create and put one of these in there. All right. We also have another file, right, that we are submitting some stuff like the delete. So if we go back in here to our home, there is a delete and there's edit, right? So, well, the edit, it goes just to the edit page here and update. And that's where we have to do, right? But we need the delete functionality index and the edit right here, the form. So I'm just gonna paste that in this form, right? And I'm going to also paste it in the index. Here, we do have one of these guys. So let me just look for method of post right here. And right here, I'm gonna put one in this form as well, all right? So make sure you put it in all your forms. What we're gonna do on the next lecture, I'm gonna show you a way that we can handle these errors so it doesn't look this messy, all right? It doesn't look that, you know, we don't get that, that problem that you saw there, the missing CSRF message. I'll see you guys on the next lecture.